way she leered at me. The blood merchant. I can't get it out of my head. I did what I always did. I let her use me. Why does it feel different to all the other times then?
Because you got to keep the reward rather than give it to your master.
I'll drink that potion and never think about it again afterwards. But what I had to do to get it is going to stay. There's nothing more desirable in the world than a vampire, is there? Haven't you been through all I have? You damn well are going to fight with what few assets the gods give you. But a part of me feels sick when I think about getting on my back for breadcrumbs again.
Okay, I understand people are complex beings, but I really, really dislike the hypocritical writing that all the characters are going through. Okay, number one, Astarion is always talking about how you should go and get power, consume the tadpoles, or bite enemies, or whatever. Getting power for doing bad things. He's okay with that. Cool. Number two, he was going on about, hey, I should be able to bite people. You can try to tell them to bite things that can't talk to you. You can tell them to bite only enemies, whatever. But that's supposed to be a big facet of him. And now because there was a person that actually wanted him to bite her, he's all weird about it. Our lives are on the line here. We take every advantage we can get.
I could have lived eternally in Cazador's pleasure chambers. I'm not afraid to die. I'm afraid I'll never have a new life after that.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of Gale of Waterdeep. He wishes to extend you an invitation for a private conversation in a more suitable locale.
On behalf of Gale. You're not Gale?
You are speaking to a mere projection of Gale. His appearance, his voice, and a certain measure of his personality, reconstituted in this case to play as emissary and usher. Would you care to join him? What little I could glean from the portion of his mind that is open to me, it is a matter most urgent.
Urgent? Fine. Show me the way.
Gladly. Simply follow yonder path, and soon you will find him.
What's with that walk? If this is meant to be stealth, video games have taught me you need to be crouching to stealth. But I'm assuming this is meant to be a romantic interlude, and your character's supposed to be female for this.
I love this time of night. There's an almost reverent silence that accompanies the peak of darkness, when you'd almost believe the dawn will never break. The cradle of eternity. The timelessness of lovers. That most beautiful of fantasies.
Gale, stop looking at me like that. Why did you summon me here?
I wanted to see you. While I still could. This may be my last night alive. I wanted it to be under a canopy of beauty and wonder. I thought this place might bring me peace. I thought it might make the weight of what I must do feel a little lighter. But I'm not so sure.
You speak as if this affects you alone. How many will die if you unleash what's inside you?
Fewer than if the absolute goes unchecked. I don't want to kill, and I don't want to die. But inaction will lead to bloodshed all the same. I am terrified. I will not claim otherwise. My face could scarcely conceal it, even if my words sought to deny it. There is no point in running from the inevitable. Better to meet it on my own terms.
You sound sure in your course of action, then.
Resigned to it, rather. But that is not to say I am without fear. Far from it. Stay with me a while, will you? Day will come all too soon, even in this place.
Alright, I'm gonna just try, but I'm not attempting to romance Gale or anything like that, but imagine if your characters are best friends. This is how I'm looking at it. If you are best friends with somebody and you know that he has a terminal illness, he's going to die, and let's say that the expected time frame is within 3 or 4 days, maybe even tonight, and he asks you to stay with him. Even if you have no romantic interest whatsoever, you probably would. I'm going to go ahead and hit number 1 and stay by his side, but I'm guessing that is the game's way of initiating romance, and if that is the case, we will pick number 2 and say, don't wallow in self-pity. Alright, Gale, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be by your side until dawn.
Heartening words. If only they came from the lips of another. This is no time for delusion. We are not close, you and I. But it will not matter soon enough. Let us just enjoy the view, in silence. We will leave the world a better place than it is tonight.
He sounds very angry that I have turned him down in the past instances. We are not close, and he's got this glare going on. His tone and his eyebrows make it look like he doesn't like my character, as a canned response there. Look, I'm staying with you since you think you're gonna die. Why are you so mad at me, Gale? Welcome back. The Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3.
I will not be slandered! General, you saw my reports. You know it's not my fault.
The facts suggest otherwise. You were ordered to retrieve the artifact. You failed to do so.
If I had been given drow warriors instead of goblin trash!
Oi! What? You scrag! Enough!
A blast of mental energy washes over you, filling the room. Your tadpole squirms, urging you to obey.
Let me make sure I understand this. You're claiming that General Thorm gave you the wrong soldiers.
Yes. No!
You blame the Absolutes chosen for your failure.
Of course it is not the General's fault.
Whose then?
Mentally influence Zrel. Make her show Minthara mercy. None of these options actually matter to you. If you make her confess her guilt, it's the same thing as watching. If you try to influence Ketheric Thorm, it's the same thing as watching, because he has no parasite. So we'll go for the more distinct dialogue.
Zarel's mind is a steel trap, but you cautiously ease your way in. You just need to shift her focus a little.
I'm being unkind. Anyone might have struggled with such imperfect tools. Goblins are prone to failure.
Yes. It's the goblins' fault. They failed you, General. Not me.
General?
Take Minthara below. Someone will have to consider her fate.
No! Please! Mercy! Please!
Ha! Bye-bye, princess. And the goblins, General?
You, true soul. You have seen what these creatures are capable of, and you have seen their inadequacies, isn't that so? What is your judgment?
You! Me old mate that saved me from the tieflings! Enough! True soul, tell the General how the goblins served our cause.
Although Ketheric Thorm is going to put her to death, we kind of bypass that scene where he explicitly declares it, thus prompting your character to have some sort of defense for Minthara. Now we can instead offer defense of the goblins. We'll say, I saw what they had committed in the Absolute's name.
Oh, and the fun we had committing them.
I'm sure they were very enthusiastic, but zeal without efficacy is for children, not servants. We're too close to the ending and the new beginning. I can coddle failure no longer. Kill them, quickly.
What? No! You creaking old bag of shit!
What a worthless guard. How loosely was he holding that for a goblin to just be able to grab it?
I'm so sorry, my lord. She's an unbeliever outside my control.
This scene is to make Ketheric Thorm look like a badass, but really it just makes him look very wasteful.
Try again. Dispose of the rest as you see fit. Or better yet, put that true soul to use. You have far more important matters to attend to. Or have you forgotten?
Of course not, my lord. Thank you. You heard the general. The goblins are yours. Deal with them however you wish.
Take, for example, just that exchange right there. He first tells Zarel to execute the goblins, then he says, oh, you have other things that you need to do. Did you forget? No, you're the one who forgot, Ketheric. Additionally, in the time it takes Zarel to explain to your character, she could have just executed the goblins. None of this audience makes sense. What am I meant to do with them exactly?
They are yours. You can release them, kill them, or feed them to each other for all I care. Just deal with them. Here in the seat of the Absolute's power, your authority over them is complete. They will obey any command. Report to me upstairs when you're done.
You wouldn't hurt me, would ya? We're mates, me and you. Practically family.
I'm not sure if this achievement will be harder to get for future players, but it looks like in the patch notes for a build that I'm not running, but Saza is supposed to go hostile when the rest of the Goblin Fortress goes hostile now. I mean, okay, I don't think that should be reasonable that happens. Speaking of which, Saza and the other goblins will be hostile should you choose to attack Ketheric Thorm at this time. Guards, release them.
You won't regret this. Praise the Absolute.
Mercy? You showed the goblins mercy? Ugh. The half-orc won't like this.
That's exactly why we did it.
The seat of the Absolute's power, occupied by a general that cannot be killed. But his followers are flesh and blood. We must learn what fuels his power.
We'll enter the side room and head to the dungeon.
I am loath to see anyone behind bars. It reminds me of my time as a guest of the goblins.
That reminds me, how in the nine hells could goblins capture a chap as well-muscled as you?
Poor choice of companions, for one thing. Gladly rectified since then. Besides, a large enough pack of scavengers can take down even the strongest of bears.
This leads back to the throne room. This leads to the docks. And over here is Minthara, and over here is the rest of the prison. I don't know if it's part of the immersive AI, but I have seen, even before immersive AI, that AI will run around and try to find weapons if they don't own any. I'm running into a glitch where Minthara will side with me if I'm killing off guards, and she'll run over and pick up the scalpel, which I think is cool. I know that there are people who say that default AI does not. I'm 100% certain default AI will go and collect items if they are not equipped with weapons. Not all of them. Maybe not even most of them, but I have seen it before. Remember that I am a player who explicitly makes my spellcasters cast command drop and my martial users get disarm strike. I'm looking for all the cool weapons. I even disarmed Jaheira, but I don't think it's that necessary because she has a backpack, a companion food backpack, so I'm not worried about it. She'll join me eventually, probably. Alright, let's go and talk to Minthara.
You were adored, Minthara. Brought up from the darkness and into the Absolute's light.
She cherished you, but it wasn't enough. You were distracted by your own desires.
Bloodlust, murder, chaos.
And most damning of all, an inability to follow orders.
I obeyed to the best of my ability!
And isn't that depressing?
You are nothing.
Minthara's mind connects with yours. Not strong as you remembered, but fractured, disintegrating.
Come to observe, true soul. She is a lesson. None can rise so high that they cannot fall again.
What are you doing to her?
We are erasing her.
Stand aside. I'm taking charge here.
Yes, your authority is great. We can learn, watching you break what little remains of her mind.
Reach out for the Drow's mind.
Immediately, your mind is swept into a greater vortex. A psionic storm with Minthara at its center.
Cannot hide, submit, embrace.
Her torturers are not dominating her. They are destroying her mental defenses and exposing her to something else. The Absolute.
Push past the presence towards Minthara.
Navigating the storm, you reach the nexus of her mind. It is a wound, bleeding raw emotion and shattered memories. But she senses your arrival.
So it is you who will end me. Make it swift, then. Anything to silence that thing. That voice.
Share my strength and strike the guards down.
But first, let's make these bastards bleed.
Her mind fills with warmth, and she gently releases you.
Impossible. She was broken.
Time to kill.
I expected to be greeted as a hero. But the wretches imprisoned me and tried to tear my mind apart. I didn't think anyone would come for me.
What were they doing to you?
Erasing my thoughts and my will. Even I could not have endured for much longer.
We need to get out of here.
Agreed.
Let's go.
Lead the way.
Don't waste a step.
Minthara is supposed to be in a cell. You have some explaining to do.
I think she serves rather well as my personal servant, don't you?
The guard is happy to let you pass. Minthara is rather less happy about your choice of words.
I would have preferred to bleed them.
stayed interesting. What path lies before me?
I'm mysterious. It's like some madman came through and murdered all the Absolute's cultists. We've left Lantarv alive for now because he is useful to us, but he will soon join the rest of the Absolutists. The Zentara Merchant and the Blood Merchant are not part of the Absolute clan. We will let them live. It's like the easiest jailbreak ever. Well, it looks that way, but I did prepare all of this ahead of time without alerting the enemy of my actions. I'm also curious to see what's behind this door. I have not yet checked. Most people probably forget about it. And there's nothing. Yeah. People probably forget about it because by the time you are probably openly at war with the Absolutists, you don't really think to check that. The warp stone is right here, and you cannot warp with Minthara in tow. Let's try and just see what she has to say.
Go on. Move!
She's so desperate. Fine, let's get moving.
The quicker, the better.
I last left Moonrise as a commander in the Absolute's army, obeying the voice of a god. I thought I had found a home and a purpose.
Now I leave as an exile. But you risked your life to rescue me. For that, I am grateful.
The artifact connects with her, pulling your minds together and showing her all that you have seen. The prism, your dream visitor, the protection that keeps you from obeying the Absolute and becoming a Lithid. She knows it all in a moment. Her mind reels, but is no longer clouded. She accepts the truth. She has no choice.
There is much we must discuss. Do you have a safe place to camp nearby?
I freed you, Minthara, but you're on your own now.
More than you know. If I leave you, I fear the Absolute's voice will reach me again. And the next time we meet, one of us will die.
Fine, go to my camp.
Thank you. Goodbye for now. I will see you soon.
Race you there. The game does not expect you to have Halsin and Minthara in the same party. But I will say that I like Minthara's tint a lot better than Halsin's. Halsin is just this little blue Linto, is that correct? TP? I'm not sure. But it's not really very impressive. Hers actually looks kind of cool, so I like Minthara's better.
It does not compare with the comforts of home, but your camp is almost palatial in comparison to my previous accommodation. Thank you for allowing me to come here, and for bringing me back to myself. Each memory that returns to me is more disturbing than the last. The things that I did in the name of the Absolute. The things that were done to me. They broke my mind.
If your mind is broken, you're no good to me.
Broken minds can heal, just as well as broken bones. The best cure is vengeance. For both of us. While our tadpoles live, and the cult have the means to control them, we will never be safe. We must eradicate them. Starting with General Thorm. I mean Ketheric. My deference to him is a habit that will die hard, I fear.
Any suggestions on how we kill an invulnerable man?
All that live can die. I can help you plot Ketheric's demise, but I need something from you first. Swear that you will keep me close. Until the Absolute is dead, at least.
You sound desperate.
I am. If I leave your side, the prism will no longer protect me, and I will cease to be Minthara.
The Absolute will make me its puppet again. I would rather die.
Stay with me. You'll be a valuable ally.
Thank you. I knew you were different to other true souls when we met, but I could see nothing clearly. Now, thanks to the prism, the Absolute does not cloud my thoughts at all. I see that together, we can have our vengeance on those who infected us. Rest well, and keep your wits about you. Tomorrow, we go to war with the cult of the Absolute.
Tell me what you know about Kethric's power first.
General Thorm would have the world believe that his invulnerability is a gift from the Absolute. That is a lie, intended to impress those who flock to the cult's cause, and to strike fear in the minds of those who stand against the Absolute. I believe Thorm draws his power not from a divine source, but an arcane one. Moonrise is a den of necromancy, and the most powerful practitioner of the art is Thorm's closest advisor, Balthazar. He has chambers beside the generals, on the upper floor of the tower. I suspect we will find answers there. Now, rest. We will need our strength for what lies ahead.
I'll be watching you. Don't cause any trouble.
I intend to cause plenty, but only for our enemies.
If you were to head back to the forest at this point, the first map, neither of these characters would ever have joined you, but Halsin will be dead when we come back. It's kind of funny to think that maybe Minthara slaughtered him in his sleep. No, it's probably because it doesn't expect Halsin to be alive at the same time Minthara is. Once, with this mod, basically, once we have arrived at Moonrise Towers, we can no longer safely head back, because they kind of share the same flags. If I were to have approached Moonrise Towers and returned to the first map, Halsin would have despawned, because Minthara has spawned. So at this point, I can no longer ever head back, only because I'm trying to keep these characters alive. But we can still manually go back there. There's no problem with actually teleporting back there, other than this. But the reason I mention that is she does not carry her Zayan, which makes sense. They probably disarmed her when they took her prisoner. So I may choose to just spawn that in via console because I didn't think to loot it from her chest. The mod allows you to loot her stuff by opening the chest next to her war desk in the Goblin Fortress. I chose not to go back and loot it because I figured, oh, I'll just get her again. I don't need to take seconds of those goods. So I didn't. It's not there anyways, I already checked. So she does come with the boots of striding and the spider silk armor as normal. And of course a supply pack like many of our companions do. Though she doesn't strangely have the backpack and the keyring. It's fine, I'm not really worried about that. She's a level 1 paladin. I'll just go ahead and level her up and we may revise her a little more thoroughly later. She's currently a halfling only because we wanted to give her a disguise as we enter the tower again. I don't think the disguise will matter at all, but I thought it'd be handy. Halsin, they don't like because he doesn't have a tadpole. The disguise won't matter there. As for Minthara,
Proceeding.
she does have... She's extra tadpole-y. She has 5 attributes. Lae'zel, in comparison, I would have 0. Minthara also has... I can just select her. I clicked on her so many times. If you listen carefully, you can probably hear the clicks in the game interface. But she has Soul Brand. Increases movement speed by 1.5 meters and lets me do 3 to 9 additional fire damage. I don't know why the game is so stubborn and not letting me select characters. I really don't.
Tread lightly.
Wanna dance?
That flicker is a conversation popping up and me switching to Karlach instead. Row anytime now, Karlach. Good throw, good throw. But we wanted to kill these guys so that we can get the inspiration associated for talking to the prisoners.
Let me guess. The Absolute is the only way. Don't bother. Why don't you and Zevlor take a long walk off a short cliff?
Listen, your brother Roland is alive. He's in Last Light Inn.
He made it? He's all right?
Told you. He's too stubborn to die.
If you're not at the Absolute's beck and call, why are you here?
That depends. Being a hero is a costly business, you know.
Well, it clearly doesn't take much brains, because as you can see, we left our mountains of gold at home. Escape first, then we'll talk payment.
Gnomes next door are up to something. They've been whispering like mad.
Whatever it is, we're in. Don't leave us in here.
And we get Charlatan. Not to worry, I have a permit.
Hey, you were in the grove, right?
Maybe, maybe not.
You were. I remember you. Please, have you seen Bex? Dark hair, golden eyes. Is she in another cell? Is she all right?
Shouldn't you be worrying about yourself?
Please, she must be here. In another cell or something. When the necromancer comes for us, make him take me, all right? Just leave her alone. Please.
Nimble. Check for gaps, cracks, anything to leverage the rock. Nickels, tools. Get creative. This rock is basalt. It'll crack with enough pressure. Ah! Don't mind us, true soul. The back wall is weak. We're working to brace it.
Are you Wolverine? Arcus sent me.
Arcus is out here? Didn't think he had the stones. Well, if he sent you, you're no slave to the Absolute. You're a damn wolf among sheep, aren't you? I reckon you and I were meant to meet. I'm Wolverine.
Let's talk escape plan. What do you need?
Efficient? Good. We need tools. That head case of a Warden robbed ours, but anything that breaks rock will do. Even if it's not Iron Hand quality. Whatever you find, throw it through the bars. But for the love of Gerdor, make sure a guard doesn't see you. Or we're both done for.
There aren't many guards left, though there is one right here. %30 chance.
You're being arrested for...
There was no cut there. That was it as it went.
Very well.
You spark of the familiar. Do I know you, true soul? Perhaps not. Your face is rather bland. Whatever your business, a warning. None may speak to the prisoners. Disciple Balthazar was most clear.
Why ban speaking to prisoners?
Disciple Balthazar has plans for them. And were I you, I would not get in the way.
I'll speak to them if I want.
Then you'll get your own cell.
Other tieflings, your own people are in a cell. Aren't you bothered?
Anyone who refutes the Absolute is an enemy of mine, true soul. You would do well to remember that.
I'm looking for a particular prisoner. Duke Ravengard.
He sounds important, and I'm afraid the mere dregs are the only ones left in my care.
You must confiscate lots of interesting things from prisoners.
Indeed. But all are kept out of reach and under constant surveillance in the office above. Prison security. is my highest priority.
Gently probe the Warden's mind.
Your mind swirls with information about the prison. The small levers behind the Warden's desk open every cell, while the larger one triggers the alarm. And interesting items confiscated from prisoners lie above the Warden's office, just up the ladder.
If you are going to stare, kindly do it elsewhere. As I said, you are free to roam where you wish, but do not speak to the prisoners.
Do not disrespect me. I am a true soul.
Oh dear. Does someone think they're important? You are small, true soul, insignificant, and above all, replaceable. Do not forget that.
The rules don't apply to me.
Is that so? If you are above the General's chief advisor, you must be most impressive.
Her smirk hides her intent. She's toying with you.
I'm actually Balthazar's closest confidant.
I didn't know he had such refined taste. I'm not sure why someone of your stature must converse with prisoners. Perhaps a small donation would convince me.
How about a large donation?
I'm afraid none. No matter how generous may speak to the prisoners, the Absolute thanks you for this generous donation, true soul. You can go now.
I could kill you, you know.
Please, try. I could use a laugh.
Well, if you insist.
The floor is yours, but stay your tongue. Do not speak to those behind bars.
I overheard the gnomes planning an escape.
I know. We all know. Their whispers are as subtle as a knife in the ear. Little good it'll do. No lockpick can breach the Absolute's domain, but watching them try is almost endearing.
You know, you should go check on them, just in case.
A fair point. And they should remember who decides their fate. It will do them good. All comfortable, I hope.
Delightful accommodation. You spoil us, Warden.
Keep that wit. You'll need it, little Wolbran.
The hells you call me?
There it is. You act bold, but there is a weak, temperamental child beneath the mask. I see it. I see you.
Well, yeah. That's one way to deal with the Warden. We find the Spellcrux amulet, a pair of keys, a potion of angelic reprieve. That's really all she has.
Let's move.
The Spellcrux amulet is the important part. Probably open this with a key, right? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna make a save here, because I've had some issues trying to get this next group of enemies to spawn in. When the eyeball spots you, it raises the alarm, and then two guys should appear here. I've consistently been able to get one. Sometimes I get two. Alright, so just one appeared this time. Let's load. Let's try again. Opening the door doesn't necessarily make a difference, because the first time I practiced this, I had both people show up. The door was locked. So I went over here to try to talk to them, and they had disappeared beneath the veneer of the prison key logo. It's like, what happened to them? Did they just jump in the chasm? Well, under further testing, I believe it's that they are responding to this eyeball. I'm able to consistently get one of them, but not necessarily both of them. Alright, let's try to murderize this one right here. Oops, I didn't mean to crouch on that one.
You were witnessed assaulting someone. You're headed for the cells.
How about a little something to smooth things over?
The benefit of the doubt can only be bought so many times. This was the last of those times.
We'll continue to do more stuff under the eyeballs purview, but there really is a second guy. There's Wolburn's Hammer, which gives me 1d4 bludgeoning, and that's it. The rest of those bonuses from Astarion, I believe.
Over there.
Trying to click off the panel to get it to go away. The hammer. Eyeball does not like it. That's okay. I don't care what it thinks. You get the Browbeaten Circlet, which gives me +1 spell DC. There's the bag. Oh, there's more. Clen. Didn't we kill Clen already? Interesting. Okay. Well, I was not expecting more, and I kind of wanted to farm. Well, that's fine. I was baffled because I was thinking like, oh man, can I still keep summoning more guys? No, it's fine. We're going to go ahead and execute at least this one, and then see what happens afterwards. Tran.
I've got a long road ahead. Best be on my way.
You were witnessed assaulting someone. You're headed for the cells.
We'll just attack. I'm not going to worry about the... I'm not sure if this guy has any loot, but I don't... I feel like I've killed Cled before.
A criminal act is being investigated. You might want to explain the extent of your involvement.
Now, the eyeball disappeared for now, but I'm sure it'll come back. Right now it's fleeing, and it doesn't know where to flee at the moment.
Halfling essence.
Alright, Shadowheart.
Let's finish this. Moving.
We could, of course, knock him into the chasm, but I absolutely do not want to, because I want to see what kind of loot he has. She's already reached the top by now, so we'll go and throw. There's the eyeball.
Go.
That should deal with him. I would select Karlak and have her move around, but the game still does not like it when I control multiple characters at once.
I need to rest. The sunset can't come quickly enough.
Whisper mode.
Yeah, let's see what he's got on his body. I'm gonna have to look up to see when I killed Clen. I feel like I would have before. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Let me make a save. Since we just did it, and I'm satisfied with the extra body count. Let's see if I can find towers. Let me search that real fast. I didn't find anything, because he's a minor character with no real role to play. But I realized where I remember his name from. Clen is on the upper middle floor. He's guarding the central... I don't know what to call it. We'll call it the important room. It's not the top floor, because the top floor has the big bottle with Ketheric Thorn, which I haven't yet done. But yeah, that's where Clen is. He moved all the way down from the tower to deal with me. Weird. As for these guys, we're going to go ahead and hand him a flail. I can throw it through the bars.
Your friend is lending a hand, but I'll not turn down extra help. Got any tools?
Yes, I found some. And then we're going to... What? That's definitely not my whole inventory. Are these just the things you think you'll take from me? No. No. What is this? Okay, I guess that's all he'll accept. Fine.
Gerdo, help me. Just bring them. Or we're all very, very dead.
Alright, well, I mean, we'll just toss it through the cell. I brought you these 3 flails. I don't know why the game wouldn't let me hand them to you.
Good work. We're gonna wait until it's quiet and then bust out the back wall. We'll grab the tieflings along the way. We'll need them if it comes to a fight. You, however, are the clincher. Once we move, keep the patrols busy. If the bastards spot us, all of bloody Moonrise will come down on us.
It's time. Let's do this.
We'll move once it's quiet. Until then, be ready.
Yeah, he's not... Only he's gonna wield the flail. These guys will go over to the cracked wall in the back to also await their freedom.
What path lies before me?
It's good that he's trying to actually free them. I do appreciate that. He could have been a jerk about it and just left, which is exactly what could happen. In my practice runs, they typically, if you don't follow certain steps, they typically will separate from each other and leave the other party. Apparently this stick is better than the flail.
Boat's good to go. All that's left is to ship off. My plan for now is to hide out on the water. Unless you have a better idea.
I'll come with you. I know a place called the Last Light Inn. You'll be safe there.
Safe? That's no small claim in these parts. Lead the damn way.
I like that he cheered. At this point, if you haven't been accosted by Jaheira, you'll be accused of trespassing in Last Light Inn and be in trouble with the guards. Under lock and key, rescue all the prisoners from the depths of Moonrise in one playthrough.
You drift through the dark until time, skill, or luck brings you to Last Light's dock.
Hold there! You can't just land and start unloading strangers. They're procedures, damn it! No one gets in without being tested. Commander Jaheira's orders.
I passed your damn test already. I remember the vines vividly.
You did, but your friends did not. Anyone could be infected, so we're checking all new faces. No exceptions. Here, form a line. Let's see if the Absolute's little pet recognizes any of you.
The Absolutes, what? What are you doing?
You didn't think you'd escape, did you? No one escapes the Absolute.
Enough playing, true soul. It's time to see what you've brought us. Now, form a line. I'll not ask again.
This is actually a reasonable precaution. So, that being said, we did also rescue Minthara. At this point, he just sort of goes through and checks everybody. And it does take a little while, so let's chat with people while we wait.
I should speak up.
This is a waste of time. I certainly don't have one.
I would tell you if I had one, I swear it.
These flaming fists don't take themselves half seriously, do they?
Well, this is a Harper, though.
We have to worry about parasites now. Gods.
Keep your distance. Let's not confuse the parasite.
I want to go inside. To the wood and stone. Where it's quiet. Safe.
Can we hurry this up? I need a drink. Now.
This is ridiculous. As if I'd let some parasite infect me.
While we wait for them to finish up. Let's chat with Barkus Root. I'm waiting for my crew members to catch back up.
Ah, you found your way. Good.
I did, though with a few hiccups along the way.
Nasty place, isn't it? My torch only just held out long enough for me to find my way here.
What are you doing here anyway?
I decided to scout ahead and get the lay of the land. It didn't seem right to let you do all the work. And as it happens, I've cobbled together something of an alchemist's workbench here in this inn. There's a recipe I'm trying to replicate. Something that might help you. That is, if you're still going to help Wulbren and the others.
They literally just sat down during that dialogue part right there. I hope a lot of people. Remind me who you mean.
The deep gnomes at the towers, of course. And Wulbren among them. If he's to be found. Aren't you some kind of wandering hero? Isn't this what you do?
I suppose I've earned the reputation. I'll help find your friends.
If anyone can, I'm certain it's you. But you won't do it alone. I'm working on a recipe to help you on your way. A new type of smoke powder. All the bang and boom of the original, but with an extra surprise. I call it the Brilliant Retort. You'll need it if you're going to survive this cursed place. You'll need it if you're going to get into Moonrise Towers and help the deep gnomes taken prisoner there. You'll need it if you're going to save Wulbren.
I thought that was your mission.
Let's call a thing a thing. A deep gnome won't get far into the Absolute's orgy of evil. We already learned that in the Underdark with those sadistic Dwergar, didn't we? It's doubly true in this place. You, on the other hand, have proven resourceful in such infiltrations. I'll do my part according to my talents. And you, I hope, will do yours. The Brilliant Retort will aid you. Thus, I will make it.
Sounds good. but I haven't forgotten you also promised me a reward once I've saved your friend.
Nor have I. Everything in its due course, First, the brilliant retort. Then, Wulbren. Then, your reward.
I like the name. What's it do?
Let's not ruin the surprise, You do whatever it is you do. Some of us are counting on you. Ah, there you are. Everyone seems to be quite aflutter. Do you know why?
I did what you asked. Ready for my reward.
You mean... But that means... Wulbren! Here, take this. Quickly. I give you the brilliant retort. Now, I need to go find Wulbren.
Relieved that Wulbren is safe, Barkus rewarded us.
Wulbren! Where is he?
Doing the cult's work. The Absolute's claws are dug deep.
Child!
Was surely a great blow to the cult. They gathered an entire army. Was one lost soldier among thousands.
Ah! Wulbren!
I heard you might be about. How the devil did you get stuck here, Barkus?
I'm not stuck. I came to find you, of course.
Why would you do a foolish thing like that? Really, Barkus?
Unfortunately for me, you're my friend. Rescuing you from mortal peril is my right.
But you didn't rescue me, did you? I rescued myself, with the aid of this... helper.
Ah, it's you. I should have guessed. Thank you very much for your help finding Wulbren.
You don't belong here, Barkus. As soon as the way is clear, pack up and head to Baldur's Gate.
But... Wulbren... The rune powder... We need to discuss what you're going to...
I said go home!
Jerk.
Say that again.
Let's not be uncivilized. Wulbren, perhaps we can talk more later, when you've had a moment to settle in.
Sure. Now, I've business to attend to. Good day to you both.
Well, there we have it. Wulbren is safe and sound. Thanks to you. I owe you a great deal. Thank you.
Wulbren seems like a real piece of work.
Don't judge him too harshly. He's been through a lot. When he's had some rest, he'll be back to his usual self.
Your relationship seems rather one-sided.
Nonsense. When you've known each other as long as we have, there aren't sides. Wulbren can be a little sharp, but so can I. You should know that better than anyone.
What will you do now, Barkus?
Well, perhaps Wulbren is right. Perhaps I ought to return to Baldur's Gate.
That'll have to wait. It's lethal out there.
Oh, that's all right. I'm a patient fellow. I'm sure you'll clear a path for everyone soon enough. Yes?
I'd like to trade.
I'm sure you would.
We have the right window. Yeah, this is the other one. Okay, this is the one that lets me drag stuff. This is something that he had available before, but we just didn't really get around to speaking to him. Gloves of the Automaton. This will go nicely with our spear that we got from the Butler back in Moonrise, the Magic Tower, the Arcane Tower in the Underdark. That one says it shocks you unless you're an automaton. He also has the Acrobat shoes, Ring of Geniality, And I think that's all the magical items, not counting consumable magic items. I double paid them, but that's fine.
Now, if you're done rifling through my things...
You're good to have humored Barkus for so long. The poor fellow is like creeping moss, if you know what I mean.
He's got more courage than you give him credit for.
I'm sure, but that's his business. Now, is there something you want? I'm a busy man.
I deserve payment. If not for me, you'd be dead.
Surely Barkus will take care of that.
What will you do when you get out of here?
I have plans in Baldur's Gate. The work of many years' labor that will finally bear fruit. You should look for me once we're in the city. The name Wolverine Bongle will be mentioned among many, I've little doubt.
You're quite confident in yourself, aren't you?
If you'd accomplished half of what the Iron Hand gnomes have, you would be too.
What part do you play in the Iron Hand gnomes?
I am more than a part. I am its oil and gears. I am its purpose, its leader. We are inventors of the highest order, matched, perhaps, but never surpassed by the Gondians at the High House of Wonders. But our forebears were foolish, complicit with Saravok's madness over a century past. And so, we were banished. We still are to this day.
Pity he'd never succeeded.
You agree with such machinations? Duly noted. I have fought tooth and nail to restore our reputation, particularly against the Gondian detractors who live in glass houses. Our return to Baldur's Gate will usher in a new era for the Iron Hand gnomes. The realm deserves the benefit of our genius.
How do you and Barkus know each other?
Oh, we hail from the same village in the Underdark. We're hung about in the same passel of children. Barkus tends to make more of it than it is.
I'll leave you to your own devices.
Appreciate it.
Ketheric's forces are infiltrating this place. You've got to take the fight to them.
The towers were here. Soot, sulfur, limestone, dusted all over. Signature.
Did you enjoy relaxing here while I battled that wretched darkness? What were you thinking?
I'm sorry, we got captured by murderous lunatics!
I thought you were dead, you ass! Both of you!
We're all safe, Roland. That's what matters.
Roland was in a bad state without you two.
I was just overwhelmed. Doesn't matter.
I'm sorry. We should have been here.
No, it's not your fault. I shouldn't have shouted. I'm sorry.
Thank you for saving me. And the two idiots.
Anything to add, Roland?
I've lashed out at you, drunkenly and otherwise, and you helped anyway. You didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. And thank you. You went out of your way to help us. It's only right you get something in return. Here. I hope it helps.
662 gold pieces. Rescue the tieflings. Roland thanked us for saving his family.
Thank you. I never thought I'd see these two again. It's good to be back.
I'm not the best at showing it, but I love Cal and Roland to death. They're family. Thank you for bringing us back together.
I've thanked you once already. Don't be greedy.
More activity among the cultists, Mom. Preparing to march, I wager. Seems that way.
You're here! You're all right! How?
We're two tiefling queens, remember? I couldn't leave my favorite bard without her partner in crime. I did have some help from an old friend, though.
How did you do it?
Killing everyone who got in my way.
I'm sorry it came to that. But if it was you or them, I'd pick you every time.
You should have seen him. He was brave, but also terrifying. In a good way.
I never thought I'd see... well, anyone again. Thank you. 1,000 times, thank you. One last favor. Take this off my hands. It suits you better.
Alright, now this is a reward. Not only does she give us nearly as much gold as Roland does, but she also hands us the potent rope. All of this is something we receive. This is not a pick one. This is everything. Our cantrips deal additional damage equal to charisma, and we get temporary hit points equal to charisma. We get some scrolls and potions.
No splitting up, ever again. You hear?
Deal. For once.
I'm keeping an eye on those...
Things in Moonrise were... bad. Real bad. Thank you for getting me out of there.
Doing the cult's work.
I'm glad it was you who walked through that door. Thank you.
As this episode comes to a close, let's visit the last two tieflings on our checklist. And there's some more conversation with Jaheira and Isabel, but we'll put that off for a little bit later. I'd like to see if there's more dialogue that happens as we uncover more inside Moonrise Towers. That was our prison escapade episode. I'm not sure if that's going to be split into two different pieces or one longer episode. So thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Baldur's Gate 3. I'll see you next time.
You're all right. My gods, you're all right.
Come here, darling.
Don't get too comfortable. We won't be safe here for long.
I'd be much more comfortable if you'd leave us the hells alone.
Whoa, darling. This is the person who helped me escape that wretched place.
It's... hard to believe. You were so callous. I didn't think you gave a damn about us. And yet, you helped us. Again. Why?
For the experience, I guess.
Here we're fighting for our lives and you're working on your memoir. Well, I'll take it. After all you've done.
You might have the manners of an imp, but you have a noble heart. Thank you. Here, take these for the road. It's the least I can do. So, shall we go for a walk?
Anywhere, my love. I go where you go.
You still can't push these guys into the pit. Just goes to show that the two sides are not created equally.
I couldn't bear to be around the others. They all seem to be coping so much better than I